Welcome back to another episode of Moffett Talk Mondays. I am your host, Neefy Moffett. And today we got a good one, so I'm gonna shoot it straight to you. We're gonna talk about the LSU USC fight. We're gonna talk about Russell Wilson going to the Steelers, and then we're gonna get into the extremities in politics and both relationships. So stay tuned. And everybody likes a good basketball game, man. And yesterday's game was nothing spectacular of that. LSU and South Carolina battled, and they battled to the end. And with their competitiveness, it brought the girls getting a little chippy. Now, me personally, I don't like what Flajay did. Flajay held the girl, intentionally fouled her, and then went to bumping her gums to the other girl walking by. And when another girl came up, she pushed her. And when she pushed her, another girl came and pushed her. Um, it happens. When your teammates get in there, you got to get in there with them. Now, losing this is where the stuff gets different. Coach Stanley, she apologized for her team's behavior. She said, this is not indicative of how we are. The behavior will get fixed. But when you got two great teams pushing forward, two great teams going at it, it's really about good work. And we put it out there. And LSU is a good team. They are defending national champions. And I wouldn't mind playing them again in Cleveland. What she did right there, y'all, is genius. She told the committee that, look, these are the best two teams. Let's put us on different sides and let's make sure that we meet in the championship. Coach Mulkey, she dismissed it. She ain't even say nothing about her team. She's like, oh, I bet she won't pick on Andrew Reese. What? Come on, man. What about your girl and her poor attitude? She's playing to win games, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. She's playing to win games, but other people are playing for bigger things. And that's evident in that. And, I bet she won't pick on. Let them two girls go at it. You big 6'8". Well, it don't matter. And now that I'm on here, look a Flajay idiot brother. The boy jump on the court with a whole bunch of girls. Come on, dog. I know when keeping it real goes wrong. They shipped him right to jail. But we ain't finna play with you. But you ain't finna jump on this court and do all this with these girls. Because imagine if that was somebody else and they had ill intentions. The danger that the girls are in because somebody jumped on the court. We can't have that. There's no room in basketball for fans coming out of the stands trying to fight with girls. We understand that your emotions are high, but we need to do better. That's unacceptable on any level. Sticking with our sports theme, Russell Wilson is going to the Steelers. I think it's a good move. I think it's a good move for both the Steelers and Russell. Russell lost his way, man. That's just gonna tell you, Russell, he lost his way. He need to stop trying to be a prima donna, man, and be the hard-working, grinding person that he's been. That's what got Russ to the success. That's what got Russ paid. He started feeling himself in Seattle. That's why they let him go. Denver paid him all that money. They ain't know that Russ ain't changed yet, and they got rid of him. Now he's going to the Steelers, who has a good team, who has a solid coach, a very good coach, a young team. You got a good running game and a young Marshawn Lynch with Najee Harris. You got receivers. You're creating a situation for the Steelers to come in and they can be just like the Seahawks. The Steelers are a defensive organization, defensive team, always have been, always will be. And they like to run the ball down your throat. Play off the play action. This would be a great move for Russ if Russ can humble himself. Because Russ can go to the Steelers and dethrone Patrick Mahomes with what the Steelers have on defense and on offense. You heard it here first. If Russell Wilson gets himself together, the Steelers can dethrone the Chiefs. But imagine Russell Wilson in the Steelers versus Lamar Jackson every year, twice a year. Throw in Joe Burrow. Oh my God. And don't know what Deshaun Watson over there doing. But you get them in there too, man, the AFC North will be something to, hey, that'll be the greatest conference in football. Back when the Steelers and the the Ravens, they were balling like that. That's how that conference would be if Russell Wilson get his mind right and come in there and play. Now to the meat of the show. Why are we at such extremes? Whether it's right wing or left wing, or whether it's males or females in relationships. For those who don't know, I'm a poli-sci major, and I'm going to just go over some of the left wing thought process, right? What the left wing value. More government. They want more people to regulate the government. Social justice. If you have more government, you can have social justice. Income equality. If you have more government, you can have more income equality. A universal health care. That's self-explanatory. They want to save the environment. They want laborer rights. And they want gender equality. This is the left wing. Now, if you ever heard them say anything about the right wing, the right wing is for a limited government, for free market capitalism, meaning if there's a supply and you set the price for the supply and demand. Low taxation, nationalism. It's my nation. We want my nation running under everything within our country. They value tradition over modern times. They want a tough law enforcement. They want a sturdy military. They look for individualism. They want to make sure that individuals' rights are taken care of. It is not about the group, it's about the individual. And they want a smaller government. Now, looking at the left wing and looking at the right wing, I understand Democrats and Republicans, but it's not about Democrats and Republicans. It's about right-wing Democrats and right-wing Republicans, left-wing Democrats and left-wing Republicans. When you realize that the Democrat and Republican really don't mean much when you're fighting against the system of thinking. We see the difference in extremes in government. How did we get here? America, people couldn't live in Europe. So they came over to America. And they're like, oh, we can make our own laws and do whatever we want to do here. So that's what they wanted to do. Well, that's what we call right wing. The left wing say, hey, we can do whatever we want here. Let's not go be just like Europe. Let's go not be like them. Let's have gender equity. America wasn't built on those things. So now you have what America is built on versus what America is. And we got to figure out to create the America that we want for ourselves. What we do want for ourselves in politics is a government that takes care of its own people, but also helps out everyone else. A government that is self-sufficient, but understands the value of trade and work with other countries. We want a government that has a strong military, a big, strong military presence. But we never want to be at war. So how do we get this? The extremists are gutting America. Project 25 is about gutting America. The problem is they're gutting it and putting everything else, everything they want in it, and going against the foundation of America. When we gut America, it's like renovating a house. We take the good things that we want that can transition. There's some good things on both sides. Universal health care. Nationalism. There are good things on both sides. But we take that and we use it and create the America that we want. Taxes are going to be a little higher, but goods will be a little less. Or tax, because that's what we want, right? We want you be able to make some money, but we want the government to have the most money so that everything else can be evened out. And universal health care can be taken care of. Social justice can be taken care of. As well as the military, because the military is a government entity too. That all those things can be taken care of. So when we gut it, we take out the things that we're not going to need, and we build upon the things that we have. And now that's the question: what is it that you want? Sitting in 2024 in this election year, what is it that you want to see from the government? Another extreme that we have, a man's extremes and a woman's extremes. Typically, women want a provider, a protector, someone to listen, someone who doesn't listen to them. A rough man who's emotionally intelligent. A nice man, a man that is nice to you, but he ain't friendly to other women. A man who is handsome, wealthy, family oriented, an entrepreneur who wants to spend all his extra time with you. Imagine the bell. We have a bell. Boom. Right inside the bell, everything inside is average. That's 80%. That's the 80% of people, right? The 10% are the two extremes. So that's the other 100%. So 80% of people are typical and fit under that bell. She said, Nefi, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want a man who is gentle. She said, I want a gentleman who take care of women. Take care of you. He take care of your girls. He take care of everything you with. But he makes them women feel special. But they realize that, you know what? They can't have him. He only wants you. She says she wants a man who's busy running his kingdom. I don't need you to follow me around and listen. I need you to run the kingdom. Take my suggestions. Run the kingdom. And make sure that we're all taken care of. But I want you to prioritize me. And I say, man, you know what? That's good. That's amazing. I'm happy you shared that with me, because there's a lot of men out here who don't understand where these women are. And I say, hey, man, where would we find a woman like yourself? She said at self-help places to perfect their craft. Whether it's a seminar, a financial literacy place, yoga, the gym, anything they're doing to improve themselves, this is where you'll find these type of ladies. She told me that these women are not going to be on the scene. She said that wherever the major place is popping, they're never going to be there. But those hole in the wall, exquisite, amazing restaurants, those local, cultural rich spots, that's where they'll be. So fellas, if you're looking for one of them women, go get it. For a man, I said, a man wants a feminine go-getter. She's about her business, but she goes about it from influence, not force. And we discussed this topic, right? And it was, I like to, before I present it to y'all, run it across the minds, right? And we looked at influence a different way. I looked at influence as being an immovable object. No matter what you're doing around me, right? I'm not going to give you my energy and make me change who I am. So if you only deal with me, you have to deal with me how I'm going. I think that's what femininity is. Charleston White talked about, a good woman, and you can never break her. She's always poised. That type of influence, or being an immovable object, is what I speak of. And it takes a mature man to want a woman like that. It's not your typical man. This is your 5%ers, right? Your 10% men who understand that women play a valuable role in society. And you can get way more done with a good woman than you can do by yourself. Now with a bad woman, she's gonna take you down. I'm telling you that right now. You get you a bad woman, and that's gonna take you down. Fellas, what's the secret? Get you a good woman. Because a bad woman will cost you everything. But the question is, how do we get to these points, right? How did women want in these men and men wanting these women? So I say that we just got tired. We got tired of doing what people told us to do. We wanted to go out and get what we wanted. And that's what we did. That's how we got here. Now what do we want? And I'll tell you, I'll keep it simple. We want men to be kings and for women to be queens that are treated like princesses. We want to understand the fierceness and the fire and the ferocity behind the woman. And we want to find a way to use that to merge together in a harmonious place. And how do we get there? We get there by having honest conversations. We get there by our selection process. And that brings me to a question that's been asked. Is a man settling when he makes a logical decision on picking a woman versus going after love and romance? Do I pick the woman that's going to be a good mother, a good partner, or do I pick the woman that look good and make me feel good? And I say it's not settling. I say that men pick compatibility at first. And once you become the man that you want to be, you go get what you want. Now, in some circles, women go in the same category as airplanes, boats, and cars. You lease them. It's too much of an investment to maintain this thing over and over and over again if you're not going to use it consistently. If I'm only going to boat for vacation, I'm going to lease it. When I want to go use it, I use it. But you're getting it based upon your level of commitment to it, your availability for it. When you leasing, you're leasing airplanes, you're leasing boats, and you're leasing cars, right? You want to get a newer model every few years. You know that this is not a long-term thing, and because I know it's not a long-term thing, I'm gonna lease it so I can get rid of you, and upgrade. That's in love and romance, right? You don't do that. You try to get connected to something and you want it for forever. You can't do that. You can't operate out of that. You can't. That's a space that, truth be told, love is not always present in a marriage. There are times where you feel love, but there's times where you fall out of love and you have to go through. And then you know what? This person is not doing anything for me. They're not making me happy. But I know I committed to them. And I said, for sickness or through health, for better or for worse, to death do us part. For richer or for poor, to death do us part. In that right there, your vow is greater than love. In that instant. So now, we pick. What's the solution? The solution is we be honest. You be honest with each other. You accept each other. You reassure each other. You protect each other. You understand the different levels of where people are, just right? Based on the age of 37. You can go from 24 to 50. It's a wide range. So there's a bigger field for a 37-year-old to pick from. Now I'm a 37-year-old successful six-figure man. And that expands it even more. We pick what we want. We identify what we want. We identify where we are. A 37-year-old lady, she doesn't have the luxuries that a 37-year-old man has. There's pressure Realistically, she only has 10 more years to have kids. So women have to be good. Women have to be good early, and they grow. Women that get kids late, they live their life, and now they can focus on their kids. Women that get kids early, they was clearly they was doing something. But now, later on in life, they want to focus on themselves and become the business women that they need to be. There's no problem with whichever one it is. The problem comes in selecting the person for you. I'm a firm believer that older women should be with younger men. Older women that are looking to seek and build families should be with younger men. And guide this man. You know, you've lived your life. He wants to live the life. So once he gets to that level, you're the proper guidance to the influence that he has, so that he's taking care of the things that he needs to do. He's taking care of his family, but he's enjoying his life too and his hard work. I believe that older, ambitious men should be with young, ambitious women. It keeps you young. Their drive keeps us going. You get to build something, and you're in it for the long run. I think with older people coming together, we're looking for a return on investment too quick, and it just doesn't work. It's like, the stock market. Quick sales. You're playing it, and it's tough, and you can't win big all the time, and most people don't win big all the time. You're playing whack-a-mole. There's no solid structure in picking that type. In closing, the conversation, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty back together again. I want to let you know that Humpty Dumpty was an egg. He wasn't supposed to be put back together again. We understand that brokenness, right? When you look at the breaking of an egg, what does that mean? Something new, whether it's natural and having kids, or you're scrambling some eggs. You break the egg to get what's inside of it. Humpty Dumpty, the problem wasn't that Humpty Dumpty was broken. Staying broken is the key. Humpty Dumpty should have been broken. He needed to break in order to grow. And a lot of us, we shun away from brokenness. I lied. We shun away from being broken. There's a difference. Being broken is not the problem. In order to grow, you have to break. Staying broken is the problem. We look at a Humpty Dumpty because nobody put him back together again, so he stayed broken. You look at the brokenness, and that's not the problem. We have to look at opening up. We break an egg to make an omelet. You can never get an omelet without breaking the egg. So the breaking the egg is for the making of the omelet. The breaking of the egg is for the alligator to come out, the reptile to come out. The breaking of the egg is for you to open up. So when you get broken, know that something is growing in you, and look forward to it. Look for it, search it, seek it, and you will have it. Thank y'all for tuning in. Have a great day. I love y'all.